Hi, welcome to One Word Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our amazing journey into discovering just a little bit more about this language every day. So yesterday we talked about 出言不逊. 出言不逊 is about, sorry, let me just say, it's about speaking the use of language in an offensive way. So in Chinese, we say 不逊, 逊 is being modest, like using your word carefully. That's being modest, but not being modest is like dial up to the extreme, to be hurtful, to be offensive. So 出言不逊 is like speaking out in a very extreme fashion. So today we continue with the negation 不 in the Chinese golden rule. 己所不欲，勿施于人. 己 self-referral, and the word comes from this rope, and this rope came from a much more complicated structure with a left side that's talking about a fabric or loose thread, yarns, and then using this rope to tie it together. So my interpretation of that 己 is you're like there are multiple threads in your life. You're the one rope to tie them together to form a cohesive story about your life story, right? So that's 己 self-referral. 所 所 is an interesting word in Chinese because it carries multiple abstract meaning. It can mean if, what, this, or all. So in English, we have 4 different words that can be replaced by this one Chinese character. And it came from left-right structure, 所. The left side is our door, like a single panel door. And the right side is Jin, is axe. So I guess this is a visual representation of axing something off. Imagine a log, right? You cut it in half. But here's like a carve off a big chunk of it. So that's you can see the action of this axe. So this axe with a door together, it means the house building. So making your living space by cutting, like axing down the logs or whatever. So that living space building eventually was used as a container, as a space referral. So this space could mean not just a living space, but abstract space that you can fill in with different content. So eventually it becomes what or whatever in English. 不 Okay, yeah, because after it is 玉, so we have to use a rising tone of it. 不玉. So 不 is this upper limit bound of the sky, and then a bird shooting upward, refusing, saying no to the earth, like refusing to go down. So that's our poetic origin of this negation. 玉. Okay, left and right structure. The left side sounds like a 鼓. And it came from this, separation of space, right? And then we have a mouse in another separated space. So the word originally is a visual depiction of the valley, which is the separation of the mountains. And then you have a low ground that the waters from the mountains are going to drain down. And then you have good irrigation, good sunlight over there. I mean, even if the valley is at a certain angle, certain time of the day, you're going to have sunshine and then not overexposure to the sun because the mountains are going to provide shade. So it's assumingly, I don't know much about agriculture, a good place to plant your crops. So this valley eventually was used to mean the crops growing on that valley, and that crop in particular is grains. So grain is the base of our nutrition pyramid, right? So grains growing over there. So that's the most basic essential life support food form. And the right side, 切 came from this human figure, and you can see kind of similarity between this human figure and that one. So here also shows you the positioning of here. It's kind of the neck, the neck of the human figure, and then there's 3 strokes on top of that. Interpretation of that is the air, like the yarning from you know the upper portion of this human figure. So this yarning means it's kind of emptying out the air from the human figure, and paired it with this grain, like valley, and then the crops growing from that valley, the grains together. It means like you don't empty out this grains, like you don't have enough of this grains, and eventually that means you don't have enough. You want this, because I guess before this want, this ancient form agriculture society kind of want would be food. So today, as our like essential, most basic kind of want, like nobody wants food anymore, because that's like a default. You gotta have food. But back then, having food is something desirable, because probably that's not a default, like fully supplied, everybody, no hunger issue back then. But like today, we don't, at least where we are now, it doesn't have much of the hunger issue. But back then, having grains, having food, basic life supporting nutrition, that's not a default position. So this becomes want. 己所不欲 means whatever you do not want or desire for yourself. 己, like for yourself. We didn't say all of that. We just say 己所不欲. And then what's the advice? Do not apply it onto others. Okay, so 勿施于人. 勿 came from almost like a feather, right? Looks like a wing. Another reading of this is it's a flag. So back in ancient times, I would imagine. So before we have broadcasting, right? We can the way to rally people before even loudspeaker, right? Amplifier, the town square or whatever. Rallying of the people got to rely on some visual signs, right? Back then we have this smoke burning, like long distance message passing by burning some smokes, right? And this flag is also one way. It's not that long distance, but long enough, because flags can be put on a pole and raised high, so people from further away can see the flag, right? And gathering. And the flag can, I guess, back then have different kind of designs, so people know with different flag color or pattern what that means, what that rallying is for. So this flag, almost like a signaling of something, right? So here it's a negation. Why it becomes a negation? My imagination fill in the blank here of like imagine a soccer game, right? Somebody break the rules and then got the referee red or yellow sign, right? That's kind of a flag down some bad behavior. So that flag rallying call initially used a flag, eventually used as a flag down somebody, as a forbidden or a sign of punishment, or judging, kind of initial judge of this is wrongdoing, right? So that eventually becomes no. It's like authority figure telling people to say, don't do this. 施, this word also related to flag, and some people say here, especially this portion, is kind of a flag flapping in the wind, and we have this triangle, like a rooftop with a chimney on the tip. So it's a space with a flag, and then the bottom, is the sign. It's like the using of the breathing. So we have 施 eventually means the spreading of the flag. So we can only fill as much blank as we can, but how the whole thing becomes the spreading a flag. Probably this is like some space, means some organization, right, with a rooftop, and then some messages or signing of the, like the breathing. So they're living, thinking things under that roof, and then you have this flag on the pole. So it's almost like an authority place that give orders to society to tell them what to do, to put different flags on to send different messages. I mean, we can only imagine that eventually this 是 means apply or act, carry out, like giving some orders, and you just have to follow it. So that's the kind of 是, kind of a force, eternal, external, like not from your own will, but something was told. You are told to do something. Okay, you also related to speaking. So here is the breath, like through your own, like a pipeline, your mouth, like the tunnels within you. That's the air traveling through your body, going out and blocked by something. Of course, like our mouth, our tongues, teeth, the cavities inside your mouth are all can be used as this blocker of the air so that we can make sound, right? So that's how we speak. So this air getting blocked and eventually going out, making sound bits like this, like what, two horizontal lines, like sound beats going further away from you. That's this initial meaning is just some air going out, and then I guess eventually it means directing this air going somewhere, and this direction is this pointing toward. So it becomes kind of on or per or for, so becomes our pronouns, and this is like a multiple functional, because language are not one-on-one mapping, right? This one character can be used in different ways. 人, okay, 人, we have original, like a simple form, it's just looking like this, two-legged structure. But in ancient Chinese, sometimes we write it in a curvious way. It looks like this, kind of like English R, right? So it's not too stiff stick figure, even if it's kind of a curve as well. But here is even curvier, looking like this. So this 人 means other people other than yourself, because the first phrase 己所不欲, it's something about yourself. And then the second sentence is about others. So whatever you don't want for yourself, do not flag down, right? Execute or force it onto other people. So that's Chinese golden rule. Except you see the English golden rule is do unto others. It's do, it's not a do not, it's not negation. It's said in a positive way, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So in Chinese, we also have a phrase called 将心比心. So use your own heart, try to understand another person's heart. I mean, that's a valid advice, right? But sometimes it's really hard to put ourselves in other people's shoes because we didn't live their lives. We have no clue what they are going through or had been going through. So that sense of sensitivity is a guideline, like at least to whatever that annoys you, upset you, or you don't like it for yourself, you do not want to do it to other people. So that's another way of 将心比心, kind of put yourself in other people's shoes. That's the best we can do because we only have limited information about other people, but we know like what we would like to be treated. So we want to treat other people the same way. So that's a Chinese golden rule. If you can say this line, 己所不欲，勿施于人, to a Chinese friend, they will be impressed. That's Chinese golden rule. Caixin currency of thinking by one word a day. See you another day.